It's been less than 2 weeks since President Biden's name was removed from the Democratic Party's ticket. I've already spoken about how the effort to sideline Democrats' de facto nominee robbed primary voters of their role in the electoral process. Now, as the dust settles, more and more Americans are realizing this wasn't just a process foul. It was also a massive promotion for someone with a failing record in her current job. Remember, just 2 months into their term, the president asked the vice president, gave her the task of getting to the bottom of the surging illegal immigration at the U.S.-Mexico border. He called her, quote, the most qualified person to lead on this issue. So why don't we take a look at how she did? In the past 3.5 years, the crisis at our southern border has made history. Border Patrol agents have recorded over 9.9 million illegal encounters. We know that nearly 2 million more have literally gotten away, and the administration's catch and release policies have let in over 3 million without any credible means of enforcing immigration law. What rapidly became a humanitarian crisis on Vice President Harris's watch is also a national security vulnerability of alarming proportions. Since October 2021, CBP have encountered 539 individuals on the terror watch list along the southern border. The failure is vast. The facts are shocking. The numbers are staggering. But for too many American families, there's only one number that matters, the one empty chair at the dinner table. For some families, that chair is empty because an illegal immigrant killed their loved one. For many more, it's empty because Chinese manufacturers and Mexican cartels have exploited the chaos at the border and made fentanyl the leading cause of death for American adults. And yet, in the face of pain and suffering, the administration's point person on the border has approached this crisis with profound unseriousness. It took the vice president months to get around to visiting the border. When asked why she hadn't made it time to see the effects of the administration's open borders policies firsthand, she quipped that she'd not been to Europe either. Sometimes, instead of deflection, she's employed outright denial. For example, she said we have a secure border. Another example, everything is going rather smoothly. Of course, years earlier, under an administration that took border security seriously, then Senator Harris found plenty of time to elaborate on her aversion to that common sense policy. In 2017, when a federal judge blocked the previous administration's effort to deny federal funding to sanctuary cities, she reacted as follows: "It's fantastic. I'm jumping up and down." Put 5 exclamation points after what I just said. Democrats are poised to nominate someone with a long record of being dead wrong on securing America's borders. So perhaps it's not surprising that their media allies are working overtime to absolve the vice president of responsibility for the undeniable crisis that unfolded on her watch. Last week, we read headlines like, "No, Kamala Harris is not the border czar," and claims that, quote, The vice president's role was more limited. After the short hiatus of asking tough questions about President Biden's fitness for office, the legacy media are back in business, papering over Democratic vulnerabilities, even in this case if it means blatantly gaslighting the public. But at the end of the day, the American people know what neglect looks like. Families missing loved ones know what this sort of catastrophic failure feels like. And in November, I expect they'll have plenty to say about it.